Krackatoa!
Yo, thanks for the follow. How's it going? Oh man, people came in. Holy shit. I had no idea. Sup, Visor? Yo, Phil. Tilling Crowd 413. Welcome. This is like going to be an exceptionally boring stream. Right now I'm going over to the I'm literally writing Wiki articles. So I'm just like testing stuff. I guess I should like talk while I type. Like this makes more sense. I just did this off the cuff, so I literally have no format for the broadcast today. Like nothing. I have no idea what I'm doing. Narrating sounds like a good idea. So I am in the midst of reformatting the entire matchup page. Yeah, just say like I'm going over the entire matchup page for Faust. You can go check it out on the wiki. I think this is like a real link. Yeah, so you can see what I'm working with here. Is like, it's gonna be a trip. We're going on an adventure here, an adventure of knowledge. I feel like I'm in a place where I could legitimately like fill out this entire like page in this format. So I'm going in. I rewrote the Oki and the strategy pages and gave it like it's more like aimed at like intermediate or advanced level players. So I think I still have some work to do, like summarizing like everything that I wrote in something that's a little more eloquent. But like that's something we can work on. The pages were like more or less blank before. So going in and just like taking over is like the grand scheme. I'm not necessarily doing it alone. I might have guilt-tripped Kraken, who's another Faust player, to contribute. But we'll see how it goes. If you guys have any questions about A.B.A, now would be an excellent time to ask, because I'm literally in the lab. Even if I don't play your character, I should be able to give you starting points for finding counterplay to common A.B.A problems. Because I've been thinking about this all day since I got up. If you have Faust questions, that's even better, because I know a ton about this matchup now. And I'm probably going to know a lot more by the time I finish writing this article. Because I'm finding some, like, heinous shit. Like, just turbo disgusting. Like, just stuff you would see, and you go, like, really? That sounds disgusting. That sounds gross. A good example would be, and I didn't know about this earlier, like, danzai, right? Like this move here. If I like touch him, like this move is really dominant, right? And so this is A.B.A in Goku, or this is A.B.A in Moroha mode, which is her like, you know, she's got normal mode, she's got Moroha mode, and she has Goku Moroha mode, which is like her super install. So in Moroha mode, you want to do stuff like that. That's cool, right? Give me a sec to re-record. So that works, right? But, hold on. So that works in Moroha mode, right? But if she's in, fuck. There we go. If she's in Goku Moroha mode, the frame data on Danzai is different, and it's degenerate, right? This thing is faster, tighter, and, like, it's just harder to deal with. So, trying to 5D it, you can't normally. But, oh shit. Oh shit, I had this earlier. Oh, I wonder what... I might have goofed. I thought I had this figured out earlier. Maybe not. Damn, I had a setup earlier where you could literally just like 5D through it. It seems sick, but I might have been mistaken. Yeah, because 2 hits body that anyways. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I think I was mistaken in how useful that setup was. Okay, Tilling's asking about FDC, and FDC confirms. FDC confirms, like off FDC Jump K, are kind of a trap. I don't recommend focusing on them in the outset. What you want to focus on is being able to mix without FDC Jump K. Using FDC to move around, to like, give me a sec. I'm gonna reposition my windows here so I'm not like... I really should plug in my second monitor or something. So moving around is really good. And you should learn to do this freely. And because it's like you're at the apex of your jump when doing FDC, it's like it's way easier on you. So you can make good use of it without like blowing up your hands. So I highly recommend just like practicing FDC at like a reasonable height. And then you go like this. FDC jump H, and when you're on top of them, FDC jump D. Yeah. So this and this are the 2 most useful ones you could have in your arsenal. Nothing more complicated than that. Just boop, 1 and 2, and that's it. For Faust, those are far more important than anything else you could practice with regards to FDC. You do see shit like that with FDC Jump K, right? But if you look at her health, I'll see if I can... There we go. But... Shit. Like, that's not a lot of damage, right? And... like, it doesn't go into much. And because you're FDing, your meter gain isn't actually, like, all that good. In Guilty Gear, after you FD, you have a meter gain penalty for 1 second. So the follow-up combo after, like, an FDC Jump K is not good. So the reward is very low. Whereas if you just, like, hit people with 6H, you melt their life bar, and they die. Easy combos. Easy combo. Way easier. Yeah. So the thing you want to know, or the thing you want to practice for timing, is you want to try and, if you're having troubles getting the FDC itself consistent, what you want to do is practice by, like, pressing... It's better to try and, like, press the buttons at the same time, and then slowly space them out. Instead of, like, trying to expressly space them out, and then getting it too late. You'll get, like, you'll get something like dive kick. Right? If you do it, if it's too spaced out. If you get jump K, that means you didn't go to down back fast enough. And if you get this together, that means you press them too close together. So the idea is the first 3 frames of jump 2K are FD cancelable. So frames 1, 2, and 3 of dive kick are FD cancelable. So you can really, you can do them fairly tight together, right? Like if frame 1 is, if frame 1 is like kick, and frame 2 is S, that's okay. If that makes sense. Now, the hardest thing is releasing the buttons fast enough to press jump H, right? Because if I get it and I don't release my FD, I get like slash back. Or so you either have to release block and press H, or release the FD and press H. One or the other. So I release FD and then I hit the H button. And you want that to be clean. So that's probably the hardest thing. And so if you look down at the bottom of the screen, you can see what it looks like. It doesn't look like much. So I'm actually FD canceling my 2K here into 2H, but it's the same input. Now I play on hitbox, so I think it's actually like a little easier. So, yeah. But yeah, getting this down is really useful because this, in conjunction with this, like rising jump age and falling jump age and super jump age to challenge people like getting really high up, is like, yeah. Yeah, it seems harder on hitbox, but hitbox is secretly really good at doing up, down, up motions, right? Because it's just like buttons. I'm like, look at that. That's busted. Look, we'll let that reset. There we go. Look at how fast that is. That's really messed up. I'm holding down back and just like tapping up. So the up overrides the down back, or the down input. And so I get jump, and then I immediately get down back. So it's just a button tap to do that. So that's like, it makes doing this stuff really, really, really easy. Really, really, really easy. It's actually like cheating, I swear to God. Like, I've been playing on Hitbox for like over 10 years now. It is super strong because like this input is also the fuzzy jump input, right? Like if someone's pressuring me with something, Krackatoa! Let's see. What in the hell are A.B.A.'s normals? Holy shit. Okay, let's change her. Let's give her a real mode. Yeah, let's okay. So like, if there was ever a gap in that where she decided to go for throw, I input like fuzzy jump like 3 times. And so it's really hard for her to like do like delayed lows. Oh, she caught me there. But like, look at that. She did a delayed low in her string and she couldn't even catch my up back input because the up back was too quick, right? I only pressed up back for like a frame. So if I hold up back here to try and jump out, she catches me. But because I can just tap up back, that's like, that is gross. If you clip that and share it, people will just ban hitbox. I swear. It's like, it's too good. You can't do that on stick. You can't do that on pad. You can do it on keyboard. So Melty players know all about this already. But you can't do it on like standard controllers. Yeah. So this is probably the strongest thing about hitboxes. It's not electrics. It's not like always hitting your dashes or something, although that is good. It's just that specific thing. Fuzzy jumps become very, very clean with very little effort. And it actually like takes away like an avenue of offense for certain characters. Some characters do strings of repeated lows, like Faust. Oh shit. Faust does a string of repeated lows for a lot of his mix. So like you can fuzzy jump like his 2K in between the hits of his 2K. So if he tries to do something like between them, you jump out or something. It's like, and if he tries to keep staggering lows to hit you, they don't do anything. Because he'll do like this, like 3 lows as a string, and you can input jumps between all those hits. In case he did like a single hit into throw, or didn't do 2K at all. Or tried to trap, or do a throw after the 2K. Like, he can't catch you hitting up back very easily. It's possible. He might clip the fuzzy jump input. But it's very difficult for him to do that if you're playing on hitbox. It's very good. Anyways. Yeah, you play on pad right now? Custom pads, Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I'm in the middle of, like, designing my own, like, all buttons cross-up. Like, you've seen the cross-up, right? Like, that hitbox that's, like, a stick and some buttons for movement. I want to build an all buttons one and see how that goes. Because there's some things on hitbox that aren't really ergonomic. Like, they don't feel good to do, even with practice. Not so much half circles, but stuff like motions involving all 3 directional buttons. So like a good example would be Kumheyun's Shishinken. Yeah, I did post a blueprint before on my Twitter. I'd have to dig for it, but I don't feel comfortable like web browsing right now. I didn't delete my browsing history before I started streaming this Wiki article stuff. Off-topic question. Getting to the good part is... Getting to the good part. Is that off topic? I don't think that's off topic. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So this is just like... That's that. And that's the follow-up. I think this only does something in the corner. Yeah. That's all it is. It's just quarter circle forward D. It used to be better in like AC. I think it wall bounced or something for like no bar. But now it's just like a follow-up. Like it's like a Rekka thing. Yeah. Let's see if I can combo. You know what? I could probably combo from it in the corner here, but if I'm here in the corner, I probably wouldn't be doing scalpel. So. Ocean Phil's got those segmented buttons. I installed one of those D-pads for a friend of mine who plays Tekken. Yeah, he didn't like it. He went back to like the membrane pads, but they seem really good. Oh, you guys are getting hit with ads. Yeah, that's because I haven't run any. If I run some, people incoming won't have to deal with them. I think that's how it works. But I don't know how to run ads. I'm not set up. I have to go to like my management page. Anyways. Yeah, I love claw. Claw technique is like really good. It takes some getting used to, but if you claw and use some other techniques, you can get really weird and precise inputs that you can't otherwise. Yeah, yeah. It's similar to hitbox in that respect. The freedom of being able to just like, I call it gate traversal, if that makes sense. Like gate traversal is no longer, it's removed by input hardware like this. There's no like, you can go directly from one button to another, right? There's no gate. Like stick gates, right? Where the joystick travels across a gate, or you ride the gate. It's the thing that holds the stick in place. That's what I call it. I just made the word up. Doesn't actually like, doesn't come from anywhere. People seem to understand what I'm talking about when I talk about gate traversal, though. Oh. Okay, this is... what's up, losers? I don't think I need to. Today's a chill day. I thought about messing with my channel points stuff, but I found it just wasn't necessary. So that's okay. It does chafe my face, though. You assholes. But that's okay. So... yeah. Buffering back, like I do that to buffer instant block here. I just like hold back and I tap forward. And I can backdash if I want. Very easy. Very easy. Everyone should play on Hitbox. If you can't afford one, like an official one, just make one into a shoebox, man. You can just take out like any stick PCB, you can just like rip it out and then just shove it into a shoebox and then take your buttons and then make holes in the top of the shoebox and then just put the buttons in and then just play with a shoebox. And that's better than your stick or your pad or whatever. It's hilarious. People don't realize this. Is like, because there's no control stick, like arcade stick on a hitbox, you're not actually like pressing with force. You're not like doing like large, powerful movements. So you don't need like a heavy case, and you don't need like a bracket to hold things in place. You're not gonna like break a shoebox that's like got decent cardboard by just like pressing buttons on it. It might wear over time, but generally it's like you can find boxes that are pretty durable. Fuzzy jumping? There's a link on my Twitter. It's essentially you just block and then you there we go. So you just block on wake up and you jump late. Yeah, there's a lot of it's essentially just jumping during a place where you could be in block stun or you could be thrown. Or like where there could be a gap. So it's either, I don't know if there's going to be block stun here or a gap here. So I'm going to input a jump. So that I will block if they do like a meaty. So let's say, fuck. Okay, let's try this again. Guard. There we go. All right. Okay. Like that, right? So that you looked at my inputs, you saw me jump, right? Like that. But it didn't catch the jump. There's no lows there. That move's not a low. At least I think at least the first hit isn't a low. I don't think either of them are a low. I could be mistaken. But if she goes for throw here, oh, fuck. Hold on. Like that. There's 9 frames of throw invuln on Wake Up in Guilty Gear. So she can't throw me until I've been up for 9 frames. Right? So what does that mean? That means I could block for 8 frames and then jump on the 9th frame. And I am unthrowable completely. Right? So same input. Oh, fuck. Huh, like that. That's it. So I didn't jump on wake up. I jumped just after wake up. You know, it's nice. OS. And so this is like a cornerstone of Guilty Gear defense. This is very hard to punish. Usually you have to punish it by going after their jump, after they've left the ground, or somehow catching their pre-jump. Or you can do a string of lows, like repeated lows, one after another, to try and catch their up-back input, which I just showed earlier. I demoed earlier in my little mention about why hitbox is cheating. If they're playing on hitbox, repeated lows don't work so hot. This mask is falling off my face. I'm going to try and hold it in place with this. There we go. Nice. Now it's secure. Okay. So yeah, that's fuzzy jump in a nutshell. And it doesn't have to be jump. It could be mashed buttons. Yeah, I did. I said like 2K2D is very good at catching fuzzy jump because if someone is pressing up back, they're not blocking low. And so a string of repeated lows can catch their up back input, even if they're stuck in block stun and can't even jump at all, period. Like they won't even, it's a tight block string. So 2K2D, just like, it takes 3 pot shots at their up back input, depending on how you time it, which is very, very likely to catch them jumping. I wouldn't say very likely, but it's like, it's got a pretty good shot at doing so. The cleaner the fuzzy jump, the harder it is for that to work. So like hitbox is very insulated against that. Whereas other control options might be more vulnerable. So, yeah. Yeah, Tiger Knee. There's a bunch of ways to do Tiger Knees. Tiger Knees on hitbox are pretty easy. And you can do them either way. You can do quarter circle up forward. And that's classic. Or you can jump first. And on hitbox, either way is pretty easy. But in Guilty Gear, if you are doing a Tiger Knee out of a move, because of the hit stop and the impact of the attack, you can buffer jump pretty early and then just do the special move after you leave the ground. Right? Like, not a big deal to do it, to do up first in Guilty Gear, because you have all that time to input jump and return to doing, like, quarter circle. Right? You can press jump really early and still get your jump cancel. So you buffer the jump early and then just do the special move late. But in Raw, it's generally better to do the quarter circle up forward button, which is like a traditional Tiger Knee motion. But it also depends on the character. Some characters have like really long pre-jump, and you can do them either way, and they're pretty much the same. Man, it's hard to breathe in this mask. I need to cut some nose holes, I think, or I'll suffocate. But yeah. Yeah, I do use TK going my way in a block string because... I do use TK going my way in block strings because it does a lot of chip damage. If they're not FDing, you can, like, really chip them out with it. I don't use it for anything else usually because you can't really run a mix off of it, if that makes sense. You want to be proactive with your mix-ups, right? Like, Krackatoa! Oh, thanks for the follow, VVVicT. Appreciate it. Welcome to the Goblin Horde, or something, you know? I don't know if that's what I want to stick with. I don't know. Do you people like the word goblin? That sounds kind of horrible when I think about it. But it seems to make sense for a lot of fighting game players. Yeah. We're all just a bunch of ego goblins out here. Nothing we can do about it. Very little you can do about that voice inside that tells you to body everyone in sight, you know? It's probably not healthy, but... Anyways. Wow, see, you guys seem to like it. Zygar, you goblin, welcome. You are a challenge rating 2 goblin with 1d4 can do 1d4 bludgeoning damage per round, you know? 7 HP. 7 HP, 10 con, 7 int, you know? Those dumb goblins. The only thing good about them is that they, like, hoard up, right? Goblins never have 20 decks. Goblins have 20 decks? That's a lie. Oh, yeah, player character goblins don't count. That's like cheating. PC goblins. We're talking like opening act of Storm King's Thunder goblins. Alright? None of this player character goblin Mary Sue shit here. Alright? Fucking weak, dies in one round, to like the wizard cantrip goblins. All right, that's the kind of goblin I am on the inside. Is there a tournament so I haven't been playing in tournaments lately because work's been busy and I've been like I haven't had the energy for tournaments. Usually they take it like they drain the life out of me. I went way too hard on like tournaments like months back and I'm still fucked from it. I ruined my sleep schedule, you know. Felt like shit. And I have all these floating projects like finishing the wiki and stuff. So it just like tournaments taking a back seat to me just doing other Guilty Gear things, if that makes sense. I'm like trying to build a stick. I'm trying to like build a stick as in like design a stick from like the ground up and then have it like made like case and everything custom. I'm trying to do this wiki stuff. I'm working full time while I do this. It's like, oh man. So it's just like I only have so much energy, right? Faust wiki, I could write one, but priorities, right? I can only write one wiki article at a time. Nice. All right. Let's see if I can get back to doing some other wiki stuff. Not that I don't mind like showing you guys stuff in training mode. That's fun. I learned by teaching. Like generally when I go on a rant or something about like a character's properties or something like that, it's a good way to internalize it, I guess. So I don't forget. If I teach someone something, I generally like don't forget it. So the only problem is when I teach someone something wrong, and then we're both effed, you know? Okay. So if you guys pop over to the Faust wiki, if you're curious to see where I'm at, I haven't saved this. I probably should. Quarter circle. Oh, what? 2, 3, 6, whatever. There we go. So it's up on the, oh my goodness. So it's up on the website now. So there is some notes. Yeah, I haven't thought about flow state in like forever. I think it's because I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I fall into that stuff really easy. It's not like it's more like habit at this point. Dang, that's something I haven't thought about in a long time. Like level of concentration or whatnot. Oh, see, my brain doesn't forget anything. I think that's the difference. My strict adherence to science is because I go and I try really hard to break down certain aspects of like play, like fundamentally, to the point where I can explain a concept in English in real time, like why something would work, you know, all the variables that intermingle with like an interaction. I'm not like I'm not left like, how did that work again? Why was that good? I have full confidence when and why something is good. And that, I think that's not normal. I don't think that's like a very efficient way to approach labbing games. But it's the long play. Right? If you come away from a game and you really understand, like truly understand, like why something is good, It's really easy to bring it over from game to game. It's really easy to, like, find new direction. Yeah, I gave up on French long ago, Zygar. If you're playing a game and not thinking about what you're doing, as opposed to thinking about how to beat whatever your opponent is doing, don't really forget. Yeah, actually, I think that mindset, Shinfil, is really strong. Whenever your focus and the basis of your understanding is based on your opponent, that is a huge trap that I feel players fall into. It leads to a very incomplete picture when you try to focus too much on your character in a vacuum and you don't put enough stock into what your opponent is doing. Like, and I think that's normal to have happen, where you like have this very insular take on like your character's tools. And I think that's because players tend to enjoy their character more than their opponent's character, right? It's like you pick your character because you like that character, and so you like everything about that character. You don't give a shit about other characters. And I think that's a big mental trap to fall into. But yeah, I think my superpower is if someone did ask me why I did X or Y in a given match, I don't even have to like think about for very long why I would do something like that. I already know why I would do something like that in a given situation. One of the crazy benefits of like having this very robust understanding of like concepts and stuff is that it really helps you weed out pointless decisions or bad decisions or decisions that have no value. Obviously I don't play perfectly and I drop stuff and whatever. But it's very easy to stop myself from doing things that might just like, well, why would you do that there? Why would you press that there? You already know like in a given situation, you know the spread of options you normally are supposed to go to because you've labbed the interactions between you and your opponent, and you kind of understand like the whole RPS that develops in that system. And getting to a point where you can do that hinges a lot on like understanding the mechanics, the risk reward of a given situation. Yeah, there's just like, I don't know, it's a long road to get there, I find. Yeah. Yeah, and I get that. I understand that. And that's super reasonable. We play fighting games to feel good and be empowered and like feel that level of freedom, right? When we play. The reason I like bring up like my way of doing things, and I said it's not an efficient way to play. It's not that good. You're gonna struggle for a long time because trying to stop and put all that energy into like breaking down like core concepts into like English or like tangible little like write-ups and stuff, it's a lot of time wasted, right? But as you do it more and more, you find that and you realize that a lot of those concepts are game agnostic. And so all the stuff I learn about Guilty Gear, I can bring with me to other games very easily. It doesn't take me long to learn a new fighting game. When a new fighting game comes out, my week 1, my week 2, my week 3 is ridiculous. Like incredibly strong. It doesn't take me long at all to pick up a new game as opposed to like other players or players without that same level of fundamental understanding. And so I really enjoy playing new games because I know where all the answers are and I don't have to like sit and wonder like why is this good? Why is that good? There's no trial and error involved. It's all just like big science. Trial and error is more efficient, especially if you have like a really strong player base to play against, because it's way easier to just like suss out good answers to stuff when you're playing against an opponent who's also already pretty optimal. But if you don't have a lot of like really strong players around who are like masters of their character, or they're not playing optimally, big science is a very good way to like skip that, because it doesn't take much to like break down a given game engine and be like, okay, the throw mechanics are like this, block stun is handled like that, it uses an attack level system. Like, are there any defensive option selects involving the throw break mechanics? Like, these are the kinds of questions I'll look at or ask in like day one, to the point where like I can like make a list just by generally understanding the mechanics and the frame data. I can usually like list out like, oh, I'll probably have like these kinds of option selects, like defensively, offensively, really strong mix might be here, here, and here. General game plan probably revolves around like these three key aspects of this character. And I can like just do that in like a heartbeat. It's really wild compared to like how I used to like pick up fighting games. Because I remember explicitly what it used to be like. Before I like had this strict, almost like nonsensical adherence to like this more like scientific approach to breaking down fighting games. Yeah. Ooh. I'm getting too deep into my own head. Oh, thanks for the sub, Nav. Appreciate it. I'm glad you appreciate it. Wow, Wheezy, that's so toxic. Goblins. Well, I'm glad you're getting like a brain exercise out of this. I think there's a lot there. Okay. Yeah. So I don't want to like, I feel like I'm just like trying to one up you anytime you post something, Shinfil. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna go on too much. Like when I'm playing, I'm not thinking that much either. But muscle memory and like breaking down, getting everything to a point where it's just like automatic is a part of the scope of my understanding. Like that's encapsulated in this grand, what I call big science, as kind of like a meme, is like it accommodates for like muscle memory and familiarity and being able to do things cleanly without like the huge burden on your reactions or your where you're putting your attention. So that is a part of labbing for me. It's also a part of why I consider like playing against people, like live opponents, is very important. I consider myself like one of those ascended lab monsters, right? The term lab monster used to be like in like the 2010s and onwards were kind of like a derogatory term for people who would lab a lot and then just be dog shit at the actual game, right? And that's because people would spend so much time in the lab that they wouldn't actually like, they get kind of like lost in like finding optimal combos and setups and damage and blah 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 and all this stuff that didn't actually like have an impact in like a real match, like not a huge impact, right? I wouldn't say Clayton's probably not a lab monster, because lab monstering back in the day, if you could do that effectively, probably like led to like a lot of victory, right? Because data was hard to come by, right? But if you wanted to like take out, say, a player like Justin Wong, or you wanted to take out like, you know, really, really strong, high caliber players, you need to have that real game experience against other strong players. is just like really important. But it's possible to lab in a way where you're like, okay, I've labbed this stuff. It is definitely time. I must go play matches now to get the rest of this into muscle memory so I can do it in a real match. So exactly like what Shin Phil does, you lab until you get to that comfort point where you feel like you could just do it, and then you go into a real match and you work it into your gameplay so you can do it while running your regular strategy that you use when playing a real opponent, right? We all have like normal brains. I'm not gonna say like normal brains because that's like exclusive, but like everyone in the scene, even like the top players, are just regular human beings, more or less. There may be some latent talent here or there or whatever, but in a lot of cases, in a lot of games, with a lot of characters, you do not need to have that top shelf percentile brain power or whatever to become dominant or scary against a seasoned player who might have, say, like a natural advantage or whatever you want to call a natural advantage when it comes to like playing fighting games. Like I got to where I am. I consider myself to have like, I'm not a smart guy. I struggled in school, all this other shit. But because I have approached fighting games in this way where I kind of like revered big science and that approach for like so long, it's been like over 10 years now, 12 years or something. I don't see it as actually like it doesn't require like a huge intellect. It just takes a lot of time. Like I'm turning 33 in May, and I started playing very seriously when I was 21. Now I wasn't like going balls deep like every day of my life or whatever, but the approach was always similar. It was always very studious, you know, thinking about the game, talking about the game in this way. And what I took from it at the like recently is that if I could distill all these concepts into like more digestible factoids or chunks, I think it's possible to like make a set of instructions that would just like anyone could make use of to become very scary in like a game like Guilty Gear or a game like BlazBlue or whatever. Like I don't think the things top players do are actually like that hard to where they're beyond like the average player or new players. I just think that players who improve very quickly, or you see that they improve very quickly, they're just turned on to the right information faster than the average player. And how they come to that information might be because they're like naturally very smart or quick on the uptake or whatever. Or they have a good process already in their head to like do that kind of stuff. But I don't think what they're doing in the end is actually that complicated. Hindsight is 20/20. Once you get there and you look back, you're like, that wasn't that complex at all. A good example is that Faust 2K versus 6H video I posted like 2 weeks ago. That is an offensive situation that any Faust can do with 2 minutes of practice. It's meaty 2K, a slightly delayed 6H. Run up and throw, right? Those are not hard to do for anyone. I've seen like every player who's come into the scene, every single one of them can do that. And they can do it accurately. I know their execution levels. I know the timing windows they can hit. They can do all of those things with very little practice. Like hindsight, like they could have that in their arsenal today if they wanted to, just picking up Faust for the first time. And you could build a whole game plan off that mix. Just like 2K to go after like wake up options and fuzzy jump. And then just like the late 6H to blow up backdash and like fuzzy mash for boatloads of damage. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have no doubt that Clayton was very good. Like, just generally, especially, you have to consider the context of when he was playing. Those were the fucking dark ages, right? No one had tech back then. No one was... I'm not going to say no one was good, but the talent was very... it was a few people who had, like, a... what we call... like, what we refer to as natural talents. People who really sussed out, like, the fundamentals of Guilty Gear early on in, like, this data vacuum where nothing was well explained. Crispy Monkey. Raisin Brain. Just learn basic tools. B&B with your character. Play until you get a basic understanding. Figure out what you... Yeah. The most important thing you can acquire for yourself, regardless of skill level or talent or whatever, is direction. What to learn next. The better the direction, the faster you'll improve. Generally, having direction is ultimately empowering. If you ever feel discouraged, if you know what to do next, you know that with a little lab work, you could empower yourself. You could feel stronger, better. You could build your self-confidence. You can pad your ego by just labbing, right? Labbing or playing or whatever you want to do. Direction is more powerful than anything, and you can find it in the dumbest places. At Frosty Faustings 2019, I walked into the casuals rooms and I played Blaze in his Raven. TSB Blaze. First time I had met the guy, he had no idea who I was. I was like, oh, that's Blaze. I'm going to play him. I play him in casuals. Great. And he dumpstered me. Dumpstered. And I was like, man, maybe I should jump out of, like, these Raven pressure rebuys. And you could tell that he was tilted because he was projecting. He's like, this Faust is like, you know, doesn't even know what the struggles I put myself through. You could tell that was the vibe he was giving off. And he's like, Raven should never be able to get in on Faust. That's all he said. Like, he did say, like, good games afterwards and all that shit. And, like, he was fine. But he was tilted because he was just like, this fucker, this matchup's like 7-3 for Faust. Why are you losing? Motherfucker, don't come in here and disrespect me in this casuals room. Or was Frosty Fausting 2018? I can't fucking remember. COVID has, like, destroyed my concept of time and space. But what he said stuck with me. And it was very helpful. I'm like, wait. He's saying that running this offense, he shouldn't be able to get in with any consistency. I need to take a deeper look at what I can do against Raven and Raven's air dash. So I, like, actually checked. I was like, if I'm playing reactively, if I'm, like, just watching the screen, do I really have an answer to every Raven option? Like, is that something that is actually the case? Because that's when someone says you can do something like with that level of consistency, that's generally a clue that reactive play allows you to, like, completely lock out their options. So I labbed and I found that, like, testing, like, reactionary options, like what was the more stressful reactions versus the easier ones, whatever. I refined my game plan to the point where I can reaction 6p if he's close, I can reaction 5k at a distance, and I can reaction blitz at, like, this weird spacing where neither work, because the hitboxes in that matchup are, like, really weird. And I came away from that experience with, like, a bulletproof defense. And I went from, like, getting rolled by Raven players to just, like, obliterating them, like, free. All because Manny Blaze said something really, 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 like, saltily in, like, a casual room, right? Direction. Direction is very important. Same thing happened. I played Pepri at an event, and he's just like, I'm, like, talking about, like, venom pressure and how to escape it, and he's just like, yeah, I could not hold, I think he was talking about Nage, because he had, like, went to Mikado. He's like, I could not hold Nage in place. You'd always get, like, out. I was like, really? Like, consistently? He's like, couldn't hold him in place. And that tells me, it's like, how can he get up and over? How can he get out that consistently? And I found that against Venom's offense, it's very weak to jump air dash. There's a lot of reactive play you can do, a lot of very safe play, where punishing Faust for jumping doesn't get Venom a lot of reward. It's very hard to do. It requires very precise, metered, with YRC counterplay in Exert. And I was like, so I looked at it from that perspective. And my success rate against Venom shot up just because he said that one thing. I no longer got bodied in the corner. Now I was scaring Venom players for doing anything in the corner against me. The Faust with no DP. The Faust with no 5-frame normal, right? So direction is more powerful than, yeah, anything else. And that's my thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I don't know if my chat just froze, but yeah, I think my chat like exploded and I didn't get any messages past what Crispy Monkey just said. Side note, I hate fighting May and Plus R. So sorry if I missed anything. This like stream chat thing is like no good. Let's see, twitch.tv stream manager. Okay, here we go. Okay, everything seems fine. Anyways. Yeah. I call it lizard brain, goblin brain, your ego. Monkey brain works. I've used that before. RNG. You got to let go. You have to let go in that matchup. You can't hold on to some semblance of like win or lose in the Faust matchup because the items are just like so variant, let's say. That's the most polite way I can put it. You got to just like let it go. Let it go. Doesn't really matter. I don't know how that fucking ice song goes, you know? Oops. There we go. Let's do one of these. There we go. I have not. Most of my content right now has been focused on making videos about Faust specifically and like the intermediate to advanced level of stuff. I don't really do beginner material, and I probably should. If I cared more about my like user metrics, I'm sure like a lot of beginner content would be way more popular, especially with Strive on the horizon. But I'm just not active enough as like a streamer, as like a guy who just sort of does stuff. Usually videos for me are just like show off, like showcasing like weird Faust tech. So, I could do something about how I approach new fighting games. The problem is, it's hard to like compile all of that, because I feel like learning a new fighting game for me is a collection of everything I've learned up to this point, and it's how like it affects how I approach stuff. And I wouldn't say that my approach to fighting games can be replicated by like someone with less experience, because like maybe they could, but a lot of it is like where I look for like advantages, where I look to start building out my game plan. I might be able to explain it. It doesn't actually, like I said, in hindsight, it doesn't seem that complicated. Yeah, this is why the take control is like really good with the replay stuff. Yeah. So the game plan thing, what you're looking for is structure. And finding structure hinges on a few fundamental things that you have to be aware of to make it happen. Reactions play a key point in structuring your game plan. Let's see if I can give a small example, because this is important. I guess I'm never going to finish this wiki article, but that's okay. So I'm actually going to dip from doing A.B.A right here. I'm going to bring in Soul. I'm going to show you how I structure my game plan with Soul as my dummy or whatever. So you want to start, and this is kind of like, I'm going to get really ahead. There's no flow to this stream. I just turned it on because I was editing the wiki and I was bored. Like, that's it. This is the kind of stream I'm running. It's not even a thing. So I'm gonna, let's see. I'm gonna turn down my volume here so I can hear myself think. All right, how's that? Very quiet. Okay, so I want you to be mindful. I'm going to skip ahead from the base of the explanation, just to give you like a really important key point to keep in mind throughout the entirety of this. Start structuring your offense from your invisible options. When I say invisible, I mean moves you can't react to. If you're watching the screen, like really staring at it, and you're responding to like what's happening on the screen before you take a decision, so you're just like blocking and watching, invisible options would be unreactable. Okay? / is unreactable. Let's see. Let's get this guy standing and get his life back to normal. Life regain on. Standing. No guard. Cool. This move starts up in 11 frames. Something like that. You can't react in 11 frames. If you're standing there watching the screen, you can't like just like 6p is / on reaction. Right? A 6p like would crush my / or like, not in this game, I guess, but like like a soul can't 6p my / on reaction. If I was playing a real character with like, or let's say that's a better example. Soul can't Grand Viper on reaction to / He can't do that. That's impossible. Like doing like that. He can't do that on reaction. It's just not physically possible. That Grand Viper would have to be a read, right? Just as I can't say, just as I can't 6P Soul doing dash up far slash on reaction. Fuck. That's too fast. I can't, if I was trying to react to it, I can't react to that, right? These are invisible options. These are where you start building your offense. It's not the whole offense. I wouldn't even say it's the most important part of your offense, but when building a structure, like a rotation of options in a given situation, you need to enter at some point, whether it's like the invisible option or the thing that will counter their prediction button or the thing that will allow you to react to what they're doing. Those are kind of like, you can build like a little triangle for yourself. Sometimes in like the best situations, you're just choosing between two options. But sometimes it's like a collection of like 3 options or maybe 4 options in this structure. So invisible options are the best because if someone's just like blocking, right? This is where these moves are really good, right? If Soul is just like waiting and like reacting, if he's just like waiting for me to do something, like he's just like looking at the screen because he thinks I'm gonna like he thinks I'm gonna throw a raw item and he wants to like dash up and smack me for throwing item like that as a punish, right? He's just gonna be like watching the screen, right? He's not gonna be pressing anything because he doesn't want to like miss out on his chance. So if he's just sitting there blocking, far slash item is really good. Like he can't punish me for it very easily or at all. 2H is also invisible. It's 14 frame startup. It's too fast. So like this is where you start thinking about your offense, your defense, or your neutral or whatever. In close, like say I knock him down. Oh, motherfucker. Come on, what the? There we go. Okay. Up close, the only invisible option I have outside of like FDC Jump K, which we're not talking about, we don't want to even think about that. The only invisible option I have is throw. If I'm standing here, oh fuck. If I'm standing here, throw is a 0 frame move. If you need about, say, like, let's say 16 to 20 frames to react to something on screen, it would stand to reason that you can do dash throw. You can dash for 16 frames and throw someone, and they can't react, right? You can dash a little and throw, and that's an invisible throw. Someone watching the screen and like really paying attention isn't gonna like, isn't gonna jump away from. They're not gonna like, they're not gonna be able to jump away on reaction. It would be a prediction to jump away from that. Oh. They just can't. It would have to be a prediction jump, right? So if you threaten throw, if they are scared of throw, they must jump or they must mash, right? They have to do 2 of those things. One of the 2. They could also backdash and wake up. But some throw options might catch a backdash. So might not be a good idea. They could also reversal. But in Guilty Gear, oh shoot. you can go for a throw, but block a little bit first, and you block their reversal. So, like, jump beats throws. Mashing beats throws. But they're all prediction options because this is invisible. Right? Reactions aren't on the table, so demands a prediction response. Okay, that's the first part of the structure. So, how do you punish, right? How do you punish the wake-up jab? If you can't throw them, I can do a prediction dive kick on their wake-up. No, whoops. I can try and, like, hit them out of it with a button. And if they're jumping on wake up, I could 2K. Actually, 2K beats all of this shit. If, like, 2K beats jump, and 2K beats buttons. Done meaty. Right? So if I'm threatening throw, it stands to reason that 2K beats every option that would normally challenge throw. That is a very simple structure. Now, spoiler alert, that's not all there is to Guilty Gear, because there's fuzzy jumping and fuzzy mashing. If I disable instant reversal stuff, there we go. Oops. Yeah. So if someone, you cannot throw someone immediately on their wake up. If I do this and I try to throw them, oh Jesus, I was too good. You get buttons. He was up. He could be hit by like whatever, but he has some throw-in vuln on wake up. Every character does in Guilty Gear. It's 9 frames on wake up, 4 frames out of block stun, 5 frames out of hit stun. So what Soul can do is he can block for a time. Let's turn him back to, let's give him guard on. But let's do it after this. Come on. There we go. So he's blocking on wake up and then jumping. So my meaties that would normally beat his options, my meaty 2K, is like not going to catch him jumping. Or my meaty buttons, right? But if I try to throw him here, even though he jumps late, it doesn't catch him. Because he's blocking during the throw-in vuln and then jumping. So he's not throwable at all. So, luckily, Faust has a move that does a bunch of lows, one after another. Oh my god. 2K. So, you have a chance to catch his up-back input. Let's, there we go. So he's going to fuzzy jump here. Ah, caught him. Caught him up backing. So I'm punishing his fuzzy jump with 2K. But let's do the same thing but with mashed normals. Or let's do the old standby 2D in block stun. Ooh. So if I do 2K here, The heck? Okay, let's try that. That should be better. Doesn't hit him, right? Because he's blocking for a bit on wake up and then doing 2D. Let's try that with that. That might actually, I think that'll work better for my example. Let's see. So let me try and throw him out of this. Fuck. I messed up the recording. Let's try that. Oh, it's too tight. Okay. There we go. I think that'll do it. I think that'll do it. I don't think I can throw him out of this. Yeah. So this is the good timing. So if I try and hit him out of this with 2K, it's not gonna work. He blocks. And if I try to throw him, I can't. He still has throw invuln. So these two predictionary options challenge my throw, the only invisible option. So we knew that 2K beats fuzzy jump, but it doesn't beat fuzzy mash. And so against fuzzy mash, what do? Against fuzzy mash, we threaten jump 2K, meaty, because it goes over and like whiff punishes his button. Or we do something like 6H, just before he gets up, because it does like a shit ton of damage and stun and stuff. With Faust, you can also, if you're more advanced, you can do like FDC jump K. Oh, I goofed. Right? Less damage than the 6H though. Well, 6H is like so much more damage and it's way easier. So throw encourages them to mash, like fuzzy mash and fuzzy jump if they're a really good player. 2K challenges fuzzy jumps and wake up buttons. And jump 2K or 6H covers fuzzy mash really well. Let's see. 6H also covers backdash really well as well. Depending on the character, you can like get a full combo from that, and it's sick. And that is... And once they're scared of the jump 2K or the 6H, or they're scared of the 2K, they're just gonna sit and do that on wake up. They're just gonna try and like push me out, right? Because like FD works really well. But if they're watching and reacting to block those things, you just throw them. And now they're back to square one. They're like, fuck, he threw me. I got a fuzzy mash and fuzzy jump again. Oh, he 2K'd my fuzzy jump. I got a fuzzy mash or I got a fuzzy mash more. Yeah, you can Star Platinum. You can IK A.B.A. I can show you some the common conversions after this if you want. They're not hard with Faust. The fanciest one is like 2D RC IK. The rest are like really easy. You just like do like going my way, enter in the corner, activate IK. Or like Metagiri in the corner, activate IK. Or jump D ender in the corner, activate IK. Like fuck. Oh my god. Like this will IK an A.B.A. It's good. It's great. Very simple. I did post a tweet a while back. I'm probably gonna find it and add it to the wiki. That just goes over like 3 or 4 common A.B.A. setups. I did them all to like one A.B.A. in a set one day, and I was like, well, I guess I'll make a clip out of this. So yeah, Nev, that is literally all of offense in Guilty Gear. That like little like 10-minute explanation tangent, that was literally all of it. That was everything in Guilty Gear. There are some like other cases, whatever, but you can rip open any player
Krackatoa!
with those collection of options. It doesn't matter how good they are. It doesn't matter. There is no, unless they're like fuzzy jumps are like so clean that you can't catch the up back. Those options altogether will penetrate any defense regardless of how good they are. There are going to be some exceptions and character-specific exceptions, and the risk-reward might not be optimal, but it's enough to win any exchange, right? So irrespective of the damage you get off 2K or like, you know, how well you convert and all that stuff, but that's enough to mix anyone on their wake up, or say after they block an item, right? Like if I throw a mini boy, the same stuff applies. If I throw small Faust, you can mix them up with like mix up against their buttons with that. You can go after them after they block with you can go after their fuzzy jump with 2K. You can go in for throw. Or you can go after their mash with the jump 2K. And that's it. That's all you need. And if they do like a reversal afterwards, let's see. You can do the delay throw to block the reversal, but also go for the throw if they just sit there and block as like a hedge, which is like, I'd say is pretty good. Now, if you're going for a... Yeah, no, it's like... Yeah, I should probably cut off the explanation there, because getting too deep might, like... It'll start to make less sense, I think, as I start to, like, have to, like, piece different aspects of play together. But, yeah, that's literally, like, everything. Like, this is the stuff I do to every player, regardless of skill level. And this is the easiest thing I can do to, like, rip open an opponent. It's very good. It's like, yes, very nice. And so that structure allows me to elaborate very easily. If I need to refine that for whatever reason, maybe I'm not happy with the damage, or I think I might find something better. Right. Another like really good anti-fuzzy option with Faust is just I can even do it here. Like, remember I said they were fuzzying during 2K block stun and it wasn't doing anything? Like I knock them down. Right? And they're blocking in the... They're pressing buttons during block stun. Oh, fuck. I think you know where I'm going with this now. Boom. Counter hit. Because it goes up and over, they whiff underneath, and I'm, like, not there anymore, right? There's this big gap. I leave this big gap for them to hang themselves, and they poke, and they get chopped. You can kind of get a similar thing off, like, a 5P 6H. Oh, fuck. Let's try meaty 5P 6H. Oh, I goofed. There we go. It's better recording. Bull. Fantastic. Right? Like, depending on their habits on how they mash, not everyone mashes correctly, right? There's 100 different ways to fuzzy mash. They all interact with your traps a little differently. So these aren't all going to work, like, might not work as you expect depending on the character matchup. Maybe someone has a great mash button that just, like, reaches up, right? Then this is, then the what you call it? That might get hit. You might eat shit for trying that. Who knows? But generally, like the chop, the 6H, and the dive kick are great against going against mashed buttons, fuzzy mashed options. Get them playing reactively, where they are scared to jump because they're scared of 2K, and they're scared to mash because you've been blowing up their mashed options, done in block stun, and then you can just throw them for free. But the throw has to be invisible. No movement tells, right? If I'm like, hoo-ah, and running up and then throwing, he's like, this asshole's running into my body. Of course, I'm just gonna like they'll just grab me, right, out of my own offense. If I'm like, yeah, it's like there's no surprise, right? So making sure your like movement on wake up is like arbitrary, or like you can't like you're not giving anything away with your movement is very important. Very important. Whew. Yeah, structure. And the same structure can apply to neutral. Like I said, with like I like throwing items as Faust, right? That's a win for me. Good time. So can I throw items from an invisible option? Yes. If someone's playing reactively, I can do micro dash far slash, and it's invisible. Like me doing that, this is essentially my fastest invisible poke is dash far slash. If someone's watching me eagle-eyed, you know, they can't punish me for doing that on reaction. So this is an invisible option for me. And I might get hammers and shit, right? It's very good. Boom. Nice. Super good. 2H. Hammer. Very good. Right? So at a distance, these are always good. And I always want to land them. So something about 2H, though, and far S is they're not very good to whiff. And Soul dash far S is so fast that I can't necessarily guarantee. Let's see. Yeah. I can't necessarily guarantee that it's my long pokes are going to be blocked. Soul is too fast on the ground, I feel, for that kind of thing. It's different with a slower character like Potemkin, where like once he enters 2H range, you're like, motherfucker, you're in 2H range. I'm just going to 2H you or something. But Soul is so fast with his dash far S that, let's see. We got that. I did that little recording there, and I'm going to make one more. Recording slot. No, it was like that. So, all right. Here we go. This is the test. This is the test, right? Is if Soul enters 2H range, press 2H. If Soul stops into outside of 2H range, don't press 2H. Oh shit, I'm too... Oh geez, I messed up the... Let's try that again. That works. What the hell? What the hell? What's going on? Why doesn't... Oh my god. Alright. Yeah. Okay, this is the experiment. Is like... only act if Soul doesn't enter, or only active soul enters. Fine. Only active soul enters 2H range. Let's see if I can. I can't do it. It's impossible. Sorry. I made an undoable example, right? I don't have the reactions to like check to make sure that he's in 2H range before he does either of those things, right? I can't confirm that he's in there. My reactions are too slow. Oh, skeletal minion is here. The A.B.A. The A.B.A. that I'm trying to like obliterate with my new tech, my new Wiki article, you know? Thank you for the follow. So what can I do though? And this, I might not be able to do it here, but what can I do in response to him entering that range? The answer is, jump, actually. So I'll only jump if he enters my range. Oh, it's hard. Ah! Oh, I was jumping too... Ah. What is with this RNG? I got it. Oh, so I can, if I'm really on point, I can just barely get a jump off. And that's my fastest option. It doesn't take long to clear a normal with jump. So my jump 2K counter poke is the only reactionary option I can actually do in response to Soul running into 2H range. And so I have to swing 2H on prediction to stop him from entering with Far Slash. I just have to commit if I want to land that 2H. It doesn't matter. I have to swing. I must swing. Look at all that damage. Look at all that damage and all that meter, right? So I do want to land 2H, but I have to swing on prediction. I just got to do it. I can't react. It's not good. Maybe I could dash 2H, but it's still a prediction, right? If he does recording slot, let's put it in 3. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Oh, let's do whoop. Let's do that. Right? Like maybe something like that, right? I'm dead. It's like that option also I don't know. I forget where I was going with this. This sucks. But you can kind of see how I'm building out my offense from one like key fact, right? Like I want to land buttons into items. Dang, I wish I had like I kind of like lost my own train of thought and like how I was explaining this. But like Soul can capitalize on the fact, right? Soul can capitalize on the fact that I'm swinging on prediction. So if he goes for those big punishes, I can like, if I might play reactively to like go after his attempts to challenge my 2H, right? Oh. Right? I might play reactively instead of 2Hing to go after his like Bandit Bringer, his Riot Stamp, his Grand Viper or whatever, I might just sit and react instead of doing 2H. But if I play reactively, and I was wrong, he's going to do this thing, right? He's going to run at me. And I want an option that I can do as a plan B. I'm playing reactively. I'm going to go after his like Bandit Bringer, his Riot Stamp, his Grand Viper, blah, 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 his whiffs. Oh shit, he's actually entering my 2H range. Oh no. What do I do now? Well, I jump. So I have two options layered back to back. So I'm like looking for Riot Stamps. I'm like, oh no, he's too close. Dive kick. And the dive kick is like a muscle memory ingrained response. It comes out very quick. I can do this in like on reaction to him entering that threat range. Now, if he picks up on that habit, he might go, and do something like that. Oh, fuck. He might go, and like, oh. There we go. And he will do that into a combo or something, right? But if he's doing that, I can check his forward movement with 2P. If I check his forward movement with 2P, oh my god. And he goes for like Riot Stamp. I'm still okay. If I could do stuff. Come on. Come on. There we go. That's actually like a hard punish for Riot Stamp. But so I can check the deep dash-ins and leave myself open to playing reactively because I used a really fast button. You can play reactively using fast buttons that have no whiff recovery, or just sitting there and blocking, right? Both beat different sets of things, right? If I was worried about him doing like that, I might be like, right? I might not want to 2P because he's been doing a lot of 5H and footsies. So now my tools are swing a lot of... Yeah, I think 2K like trades? Yeah, it sucks. I've been practicing this though. But like that. I've been practicing that. Yo, Wiki Viper, how's it going? VSAV player, I think. I don't know. I think that's what the Twitterverse told me. So I'm building out my entire game plan from my one invisible positive option. I entered this structure. I like kind of skipped ahead. I'm like, I know items into like buttons into items are really good, and they're really good against someone who's just sitting there doing nothing. So I'm going to start there and build my offense around that, or my neutral even. This is neutral. This isn't even Oki. I did the same thing with Oki earlier, right? Well, I'm doing the same thing in neutral. But it involves me having a clean idea of like reactions versus predictions. And it involves me knowing generally all about all the other options that might be on the playfield from both characters. And that comes with lab time, playing matches, and all that other stuff. When I'm looking for what options to use and what counterplay to use, I try to pick the easiest options available to me. Slashback is not a good Slashback's not a good option to Riot Stomp because it's fucking impossible. It's just like really hard. It's so hard. Air Slashback is a little easier, but it doesn't get me anything. And it's only easier because Faust's air slashback is like super messed up. You can do these all day. Something. God, this character. Like, see, it's like, I think the easiest option is probably something like 5P. You can also, do something like this, but You know, it's like, ooh, that one's good too. The 2D is kind of easy, but it's a little slow. So I'm not sure. Yeah. If you're too late, you kind of like eat shit. He'll throw you there. Can I like force break it? I can't force break it. Okay. So like, I'm looking for, when I go through my options to try and like counter something, I look for the easiest, most likely options to work. Literally counting like frame windows of like execution, right? Like the margin of error I can give myself. Oh, this is like a 5-frame punish. This is like a 10-frame punish or something. Like I have to hit like this kind of wide window. That's good. If it's like, I have to hit like this arbitrary 3-frame window. No, I'm not going to do it. It's just like, it's too hard. Yeah, you can crawl under. So the thing about crawling into slashback is that you have a stand-up animation that can be hit, right? So if you're not frame perfect with the slashback from crawl, you eat shit. Now I'm on hitbox. So there are ways. Especially if you're on a cross-up. You get one of those cross-ups. Yes, crawl into slashback is a thing. On hitbox, you can do, and I posted this on Twitter yesterday. You can do down back and like, you can like do a standing slashback in 1 frame, and that works. That works really easy because you're like standing up into their hitbox, which is like easier for a bunch of reasons. So not crawl forward, but crawl backwards. Crawl backwards still has a pretty high hitbox. So it's like, yeah. It's not as good as crawl, but yeah. So that's how I structure neutral, defense, and offense. And always the same ways. Well, defense is a little different. Defense, I just fuzzy jump a lot. That's it. I just look for gaps to fuzzy. But you'll find that as you explore structuring your offense, structuring defense is very easy because it's just offense in reverse, right? You know that fuzzy mash and fuzzy jump are good. So you do those a lot. And you know when to stop, right? When they start challenging those options. And you know what's coming when you stop fuzzy jumping and fuzzy mashing, throws start showing up. So you go back to fuzzy mashing and fuzzy throwing, or fuzzy jumping. So like I'm going to be super real on defense. I generally only do like 3 things total to shut down all of Guilty Gear's offense. I fuzzy jump, I super fuzzy jump, and I fuzzy jump with like 2K, jump 2K. A soul going, like this. I'm like, I just like dive kick him. And I can like, I can jump. Look at all the jumps. Look at my input history. That's fucked up. Like I can put in a lot of jumps, right? You know? And if I'm not confident that the jump 2K is going to do well, I just normal jump and get out. Out and away. And I FD on the way up because if Soul does like that, oh shit, this time too good. Fuck. Man, poor Soul. Like that. I block it. So I had an attempt to escape throw. And yes, I get put back in the blender, right? Because if he goes, like that, he can FRC and go back in. But he didn't do any damage to me, right? So I took a pot shot at a complete escape back into neutral. I didn't take any damage. That's worth whatever it cost me to FD in the air, right? Against intermediate players, just fuzzy jumping will shut down all of their offense. My win rate is like ridiculous. Like, not to flex, but yeah, to flex. My win rate is something like 89% in ranked, and it's like 2,200 games to like 380 losses. It's like ridiculous. Like, just fuzzy jumping gets me most of the wins against everyone I run into. Adapt asks, would Faust challenge with a button there and exert? Probably not, because the other things Soul can do, and you eat shit for getting counter hit. It's not that he can't, but everything I've learned points to just jump. Just jump. Please jump. Jump more. Keep jumping. I leave A.B.A to situations where I leave A.B.A for situations where the reward is definitely favorable for me, and jumping doesn't get me anything, right? So in the chip matchup, mashing 2S out of block is actually pretty good, because you eat like a third of his life bar for being right. And you lose in neutral. So it makes more sense to just go for the A.B.A and just YOLO it. But if you're playing conservatively, just jump. Just jump. Jump, jump, jump. I think every character just wants to jump. Except characters with like bad jumps. Like Pot. But Pot has Mega Fist, which is similar to jump. It crushes buttons really easy. Very good. Yeah, he's got like slow, yeah, the risk reward isn't like, Pot would much rather A.B.A Mega Fist to challenge gaps, or Pot Buster. But generally, I think Mega Fist is like the scariest thing. Because Mega Fist can crush options with a 1-frame gap or some shit. Right? So can Judge Gauntlet. So technically, those options are faster than Pot Buster. And Mega Fist will still crush like throw-in vuln moves. Right? So I'm more scared of Mega Fist than I am Pot Buster. I'm always scared of Mega Fist. I'm terrified of it. Fucking ridiculous. Like, Mega Fist is just like a meterless force break chop. Except it's on Potemkin and not Faust. Anyways. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta explicitly play around it. It's like crazy. Alright, let's find some A.B.A tech and finish this. Finish this wiki article. Back to the wiki page. Yeah. Okay. So what does Crawl beat in this matchup? I have Crawl here, like in the bottom of the screen, but I'm not sure if it's relevant here. I'm not sure if A.B.A has anything that like... Let's find out. So this move here, I wrote about it in the wiki article, is that it's perpetually active all the way to the ground. But I'm pretty sure it catches throw, or it catches Crawl, right? Yeah, the rest of her jump-ins do not, but I'm pretty sure she's only gonna jump with this, right? And that's a favorable trade, so that's not like, I don't think I have to worry. It's probably better in the corner, but like... Yeah, that's good. Okay, so her normal mode options are total garbage. Thanks for the clip. Inflate my already prodigious ego. Whoa. So there's no reason to crawl any of her jump normals. Like against other characters, normally you like crawl under a jump normal and then you like throw them when they land or something. Or like you 2P when they whiff. And that's usually pretty good. But if you can get like a guaranteed like, just ruin her day with 6P, then that's gonna be much better. But let's look at her other options, right? God, what's the input for this? There we go. So there's crawl here, but honestly, that's okay, but I don't think she's gonna like go for that that often. Maybe because like honestly, she's just like looking for like tick throws to get like Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry. Let's do one of those. Okay, perfect. All right, that was easy. So I'm doing that. Thanks for the save. So you can crawl and probably go after her this way. Or at least start farming items from it. That's good. That's probably throughout the rest of her kit, isn't it? Oh, fuck. I didn't even... I keep resetting. Oh my god, it's force a habit. No. Like, to me, that's, like, great. So that's gross. So we'll just say crawl. Second hit of Rekka. What's the follow-up to Rekka? Half circle back, quarter circle forward K. Or condemnation. She might actually be able to like let's try that. Okay, that doesn't crush. But what about, it's a half circle S? Oh my god. No? Half circle back S. Fuck. There we go. Okay. So what happens on whiff? Oh, yeah, she can't do shit. Let's try a slower button. But I keep... Okay. Yeah, so she's turbo fuck if you just like... She can't... The thing is, she can't react, so this is fine. And like if she doesn't have the meter to Goku Moroha, then like we'll worry about that later, I feel. Can I do this on normal block? Ooh, that's disgusting. That's so gross. You can also probably rhythm. Rhythm is pretty easy to crawl. Don't have to IB. Leads to a fairly free punish, depending on spacing. Great. All right, so we got one. Let's test it in... Fuck. There we go. For real? Like this whole time I've been blocking this shit, by the way. So she could probably do something like well, that's just a quarter circle. I've been doing a half circle the whole time. Jesus. That should do it, I think. Okay. Oh yeah, I don't... It's hard to just tell if she can get... It's going to be really hard for her to input danzai there, though, I feel, because the hit stop is so whack that I think like going for the danzai on reaction to the crawl is going to be like really fucked up. Either a punish or hard to contest 2S, depending on spacing. Okay, cool. Now she's got this move. No. This is the like the big FU jump in, right? So this deals with crawl pretty handily, right? Yeah. The hell? Doesn't she have like a way better like jump in than that? That's okay, right? Like that's a good for me, I think. There we go. That knocks down. That has to be good for me. Yeah, well, it's not that the sends her full screen. That's good, but also it takes away her meter, right? I'm gonna make a note of that. 6P, generally good when you have time to get it out. provided you can get it out in time. Against A.B.A, jump D, and we'll counter hit trade, and you both get knocked down. This is a win for you if she's in Moroha or Goku Moroha mode, because she loses bar. Wake up. Great. Done too late. Oh. They're 6-piece stuffed. Be careful. Crawls don't. Crawl is not all that relevant against her standard, her more dominant jump-ins, such as jump H. In either mode. Any mode. Either of the 3 modes. Good. Good. Excellent. Fantastic. Okay. What else? I'm going to get a drink of water, actually. So I'm going to run an ad and then have a drink of water. Sounds good. All right, I'm back. Okay, here we are. Whew. Okay. Yeah, you have fun, Dept. Thank you for the mod. I'm gonna jump back into it some other time. I think I've just been like absorbed in like wiki editing the past couple of days. Thanks for the changes, by the way. Those like the Faust stuff was like super sick. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm gonna try and like play some local guys later on. They all find the beta to be like super wild. It's like they're like, yeah. So I'd love to like, I'd love to enter like Rev Zero tournaments at like events. That would be so sick. Like maybe once like maybe once like Frosty Faustings comes back or something, we can run like a side event or something. Or I'll like just take it and run like a side event or something. Who knows when that'll be, but we can do like an X character tournament, and like a Rev Zero event or something. Yeah. Yeah, I've been kind of like out of the Exerd netplay game for a long time, just because like rollback is too good, right? I've been just playing plus R instead. And honestly, like if we ever get to the point where like God, I wonder how the game would operate if like if mods would be possible if we ended up with rollback. Like one day. Like if Arxis ever added it in, would that like blow everything up? It might change some stuff, but who knows? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're just modifying like it's it's like yeah. I kind of like I kind of understand what you're saying with regards to like determinism and whatever. Like it's not going to upset anything, right? If both clients end up having the same changes embedded. It depends. I would think it would depend on how they hook up some of the systems. So maybe I don't know. There's a lot of ways they could go about doing like rollback, right? So like, what if it like completely like changes the particle system or something? I don't know. Like the special move functions might not like operate the same way that you're used to or something. Like I don't know. Like they could make like whole fundamental changes. But do you think they would probably try to preserve like the core of how their engine operates for rollback? So maybe not. Maybe it'll just like, you know, making like modifications to like special moves and how they function doesn't actually like require like the TLC necessary to keep it running in rollback. Because like when you reestablish a game state, right, you're not necessarily thinking about like special move properties or whatever, right? It's not like the function for that would be like special move agnostic. Like they wouldn't, you know, unless they had to do some like specific changes or something. Like hard code, like a fix 4 rollback because like some special move is like super fucked up, like Faust items or something. I don't know, but I can't imagine that would be the case. You're a better programmer than me, and that's like long in the past. Me pressing buttons to do code. So. Danzai in Maroha mode. What do we want? Okay. Well, that's the thing, right? It doesn't like interest and obsession is way more important than like going to school for like programming and shit. Like it's like just doesn't matter. I just point to like games like Undertale or whatever. Some kid not knowing what he's doing in Game Maker can make much better stuff than like, 99% of the industry. So that game was like an amazing wake up call for like developers to be like, what the fuck are we doing with ourselves? Like, Jesus Christ. Ooh. Hmm. Can I do 2K hits against Force Break Maroha Danzai? Shit. Two hits. Good, she can't, like, activate off Danzai. Perfect. Excellent. Okay. So, time a meaty 2K so that the second hit connects meaty. This will allow you to beat out regular Maroha Danzai. To beat regular outright. You can 5D through the second hit. Okay, that works. That's a punish, right? Okay, that sucks. I don't want to have to, like, do that. $5K is probably better here, right? 5K is probably better here, right? Oh, counter hits her. Oh, shit. That's not a punish. That's way too hard. That's way too hard. That seems kind of safe. Doesn't look like she's gonna pick up on the... That seems okay, right? Seems fine. Interesting. That's funny. I don't think that's like a real answer though. No, it's not real. Okay, so we have backdash. That's good. Backdash. fuck? Oh, there's so much. This is turning into like an online notepad document. Paste bin. Might call it there for now and come back to this later. Oh yeah, I meant to do I'll put in some IK combos. Oh, IK combos. It's not that easy. I guess I put something in every situation. I think that'll do for now until, you know, I come back to it or someone like has some input on the subject. Okay. Well, I think I'll close up shop for tonight. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Whoever's still here. I'd be surprised if anyone was still here. I'd be absolutely flabbergasted. But I appreciate you nonetheless, and I will see you maybe tomorrow when I do like more characters, I guess.